Hi everybody, this is Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violins. So today's featured violin is the Franke Henner. So we've been selling the Henners for quite some time. I mean, I don't know, probably at least 20 years or so. The Henners are a big favorite, the Henners and the Giulianis in particular, because a lot of intermediate players will buy these because they've been playing on a kind of a intermediate or beginner type of violin, but they want a violin that's going to take them into the advanced level. So a lot of advanced players will buy these as well. So they're a really great violin that'll really crosses a big spectrum. And the great thing about the Henners is they're such a good instrument that they will really respond to what kind of strings you put on your violin. So a lot of people will put fairly inexpensive strings on a Henner and they'll still sound good. They still have the characteristics of a Henner. But if you put some really nice professional strings, then all of a sudden the violin comes alive and now they have a violin that sounds far better than what they paid for it. So the Henners are just, they're really popular and they're at a really great price point that a lot of people want to get them. So if I was to describe the sound of a Henner, the thing about the Henner is that they tend to be very responsive, but also a little bit on the brighter side. So a Girard is going to have like a little bit of a darker side, but the sound won't be as complex as a Henner. So the Henner is going to be a little bit brighter, but it's going to be really responsive, but the sound is a little bit more complex. So a lot of times you just kind of have to decide what you like. But the good part is that the violins are going to get better after about 6 months or a year. You're going to be surprised at the quality when you get the violins. But after 6 months or a year, the violins are going to mature a lot and they're going to sound far better after about 6 months to a year. Why? Well, because the instruments are built well and they're also set up well. So I'll just talk about a few of the characteristics of the Henners. So you're always going to get high quality top grain spruce on the top. You're going to get really nicely flamed maple on the back, as well as the sides. And the Henners are almost always a nice like honey brown, I guess, whereas the Girards, for example, are a little bit darker color, so kind of personal preference. And you're going to have really high quality fittings. Of course, the highest quality ebony pegs and fingerboard and chinrest. And generally, you're going to have one fine tuner on a really nice ebony tailpiece. But if you want 2 fine tuners or 4 fine tuners, or you want ball end versus loop end or vice versa, you just let us know. We're not going to charge you extra. You just send us an email, use our chat box, call us up. You just say, hey, I want 4 fine tuners on there instead of 1. No problem. Because you got to remember, here at Kennedy Violins, we're a little bit different than everybody else. We do the final assembly and setup here in Washington State. So it's not done overseas or something like that. When you order a violin, we're actually going to put your violin together, and if we need to, we're going to customize it as well. But we're going to set it up right before we send it to you. So it's going to be fresh, ready to go, ready to play. So when I talk about setup, right, of course I'm talking about like the bridge, right? So the Henners, you get this really high quality French Aubert bridge, right, which is world renowned. They make the best bridges in the world. So this bridge is going to be fitted really well to the top of your violin. The curvature is going to be just right. So those string crossings, double stops are easy. The string spacing is really good. The height of the strings is going to be really good, whether you're in first position, third position, fifth position, seventh position. It's going to make those double stops and all that stuff a lot easier to play. Of course, we pay a lot of attention to the nuts as well. So when you pay a lot of attention to the setup, which is really, really crucial, what you have is an instrument that is maximized for that instrument's potential, right? It's really important. You want your instrument to sound as good as it can sound. And you also want your instrument to be as easy to play as possible. And that's why setup is so important. And that's why at Kennedy Violins, we insist on doing a professional quality setup on all of our violins, and we have since day one. So if you guys have any questions about the Henners, feel free to give us a call and let us know what kind of questions you have. Just know that when you get your violin, you're going to get everything that you need: a bow, a really high quality oblong full suspension case, rosin, everything, right? But if you want your instrument, customized or anything like that, just let us know. This is what we do. We know violins. We are players and teachers. So just let us know. We'll make sure we get you the perfect violin. So with that, I'll bid you guys adieu and you have a great day.